In this lecture, let's try to look into how we can implement the Python Banyan framework in creating a network auction application. With this exercise, you will discover how you can implement a simple multi-threaded programming. So the first step is to create a virtual environment in Python. So there are lots of tutorials in YouTube, including articles that you can check out. You may look into this documentation for you to be guided on how you can create a virtual environment. Having a virtual environment will allow you to isolate the libraries you needed for your project and avoid namespace conflicts with other libraries. So the second step is to install the Python Banyan. You may check the documentation of the Python Banyan at the GitHub. Just search the Python Banyan with Google and it will give you the results for Python Banyan. You may visit the GitHub pages for Python Banyan. So in this document, you will see how you can install the Python Banyan framework. Okay, so to show you how the auction application works, let's run the backplane that was installed together with the Python Banyan framework. So I am now running the backplane, and I am also currently running now the server for the auction. So in the server, we have to define the countdown when the auction will end. So in this example, let's just try having 5 minutes. So let's write here 300. And then we have here three clients running at the same time. Client 1, client 2, and client 3. Okay. So what we'll do is to give a name for each client. So let's start with the first client. Let's name this John Wick. The second client is Tony Stark. And the third client is C4. Then let's click accept. Okay, so for now we can see a different window from the previous one, and this new window that we are seeing right now are the bidding and selling window for every client. So the window for Thor, window for Tony Stark, and for John Wick. And on the server side, we can see that there are three clients who are already connected with our server. So we can now start our auction. Just to inform you that the buttons here are all disabled. So once we click the start button, it will right away enable these buttons here on the client side. So let's click start. Okay, so let's try selling an item for John Wick. So let's write here house for amount of 500. Another one, let's say shoes amounting 100. So every item that we put inside that we sell can be seen on the server. So the server's responsibility here is to keep track on the clients that are selling and bidding for the items. Okay, so let's do the same thing for Tony Stark. Sell an item. Let's write here TV for 200 and another one, let's say bike for 300. Okay, now let's try to implement bidding. So, so the items here displayed on the middle portion of this window are the items for sale for the client Tony Stark. And these are the items for sale of John Wick. And these are the items at the top are the items for bidding, which came from John Wick. And same goes with here, the items that came from Tony Stark. And here are the items at the top because Thor has no items for sale. So what he received are the items for bidding. That is why it is displayed at the top. So let's try to bid for each item. So Thor will bid for house, and the bidding should be higher than the previous one. So let's try bidding with an amount of 600. So the amount bid is now monitored by the server. And for shoes, let's try bidding um, 150. Thor will not bid for TV and bike. Okay, but John Wick will try to bid for TV and bike. So bid here, let's say 300, and then bike, let's say 400. So all of the transaction that was made by the clients are all monitored in the side of the server. Now let's do the same thing here for Tony Stark. He will bid for house, let's say 700, and then shoes for 500. Okay, so those client that who joined on a particular item for bidding will receive the information about who has the highest bid for that item. So it is displayed at the bottom portion of the window of each client. So we have 58 seconds left, and then let's try to bid another attempt for bicycle. So let's try. Um, for now, the highest bid is 400. So let's try to bid 600 for bicycle. Okay, then let's wait who will be the winner of this auction event. Okay, so the time is up. So we can now see the winner of each item. So for TV, the highest bidder was John Wick. For house, the highest bidder was Tony Stark, 700, and shoes, 500, and John Wick for bike. Okay. Same goes with the rest of the connected clients. So they receive the same status for the highest bidder for each item. Just a reminder that what you have seen is just a simple implementation of the Python hosted on a local PC. But for your project, your task is to implement the Python Banyan in a network environment. So there will be a server hosted on computer one and another set of clients that are hosted in a different computer. So you have to demonstrate this in the class presentation. All right, so that ends our discussion for how we can implement the Python Banyan in a network auction application. And see you on the day of your presentation.